Hi everyone! Okay, so before we start our lesson, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Ma'am Diana Rose Flora and I will be your science teacher. Okay, so without further ado, let's start our topic. So, Science 10, the first quarter, evolves on Earth science. So, revolves on Earth science. So, we will be talking about volcanoes, we will be talking about earthquakes, we will be talking about mountain ranges, as well as plate tectonics, as well as um, the different phenomenon that happens or that occurs in the Earth's surface. Alright? So I know that you're all excited, so let's start our topic. Okay. So we cannot learn about the different phenomena such as earthquake, volcanic eruption without dwelling first into the different layers of the earth. So when we say layers of the earth, we have 5 layers. And what are the 5 layers? Okay, the 5 layers are, okay, we have your crust. Okay, that is the first layer, which means crust is the outermost shell. Okay, so crust is the outermost shell. Yan daw yung pinaka nasa labas. Okay, and your crust is varied or categorized into two. So it can be old or young. Oh, shala. May old at young pa dito. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng old? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng young? Okay, syempre, in English dictionary, old, matanda. Young, bata. But in science, when we say old crust, so old crust, it means mas makapal sila. They are thicker. Okay? Mas makapal sila. They are thicker. Okay? Pero pag sinabi nating younger crust, in science, younger crust, that means they are denser. Mas mabigat daw sila. So, which of which, di ba we have two types of crust kasi. This one is your oceanic plate. This one is your oceanic crust. And this one is your continental crust. Or what we call, this one is oceanic. Bipindot ko kasi. And this one is your continental. Anong ibig sabihin ng oceanic? Ano naman ang ibig sabihin ng continental? Ibig sabihin ng continental, kung titignan nyo dito sa picture, mas makapal siya. So, this one is the old. Ito yung matanda na. Okay? Ito yung matanda na. Ito yung thicker. So, kapag old, syempre, it is also thicker. Pero kung titignan mo itong oceanic plate or oceanic crust, 'di ba? Ang nipis. However, kahit manipis siya, it is denser. Mas mabigat siya. So, denser, it means siya yung lulubog because it is made up of sand. And this one is mainly made up of soil. So, konting-konti lang yung sand. Okay, alam mo na. So, kapag young, it is denser. Okay, do you understand? Okay, very good. So, we also have, let's, alright, we also have brittle crust. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng brittle? Brittle crust. That is, nasa 40 kilometers. Okay, so kapag brittle crust, it means yun yung mga parang madaling mabasag or madaling ma-powderized. Okay? So, siguro, ito yung mga pinanggagarden nating soil. Ito yung mga ginagamit natin for planting. Okay? They are brittle. Madali silang bungkalin, in other words. Alright? So, do you know that only 1% of the Earth's mass is the mass of all combined living things? Hindi nyo alam yon. Okay, ganito yan. Kasi, the Earth itself is very heavy. Okay? So 1% lang yan ang mga tao in addition to the animals, in addition to the different plants, in addition to all living organisms. So 1% lang po ang mass natin. Okay? 1% of Earth's mass is our mass. Okay? Do you understand? Alright. So now that we have the different Earth's crust, pag-usapan naman natin kung ano yung mantle. So, yung mantle is located here. Okay, so from here to here. Okay, 'di ba ang ang kapal. So, nandito na ngayon ang asthenosphere mo. Okay? So, asthenosphere. So, mantle, madaming mga minerals dito. Later on, pag-uusapan din natin yung mga minerals. Ito, so they are all a part of mantle. Yan, mantle lahat yan. And then, after mantle, 2,900 kilometers naman is your outer core. O, outer core, that is liquid. So, anong ibig sabihin kapag core na siya? Mainit na siya. Okay? So, from here, from the top, going to the bottom, painit ng painit. So, pataas ng pataas ang temperature. The temperature increases from top going to the bottom. Kasi liquid ito, siguro nandito na yung mga melted gases or melted minerals that can cause or that can increase in the high temperature of this Earth's layer. And then finally, on the bottom or at the center of the earth, which is 5,100 kilometers, and a solid portion is your inner core. Okay? That is your inner core. Okay, kung titignan mo yung radius, that is for a total, okay, o masyado ng malaki. Kaya ganyan kalaki ang Earth natin. Radius pa lang to. Radius pa lang. Kita mo? Alright? So, let's go. So, going back to Earth's crust, kung nakikita nyo, may mga iba't ibang numbers dito. We have number 45, number 40, 30, 10, may 60, may 45, may 30, may 10 again. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng mga numbers na to? Okay? They only mean that crust has a thickness measurement. Sa itong mga to, 30 kilometers, ganyan daw kakapal ang crust. Ito naman, 10 kilometers, siguro dito sa may 10 kilometers, they are composed mainly of beaches. Mga anyong tubig. And then yung mga 60 kilometers naman, they are composed mainly of landforms. Yung mga hills, mountains, ano pa yung mga landforms na napag-aralan nyo before. So yun, that is the thicker the crust, the older it gets. And the less denser. Okay, the less denser it gets. So, the more na hindi siya mapiga or the more na magaan siya. Alright? So, that's all about crust thickness. Now, pag-usapan natin ngayon ang earth size. Ano ba? Gaano ba kalaki ang earth size? Diba? Sinabi ko na yan kanina. Okay? So, dito, this is your earth's crust. We have your ocean crust, which is 5 to 7 kilometers lang. 5 to 7 kilometers. And then we also have your continental crust. Ito na, binubuo na ng continental crust yung mountains natin, yung palayan natin, yung pinagpapatayuan ng bahay natin. Okay, the continental crust, which is 10 to 75 kilometers. Okay. We also have Moho-Rovisic. Okay, Moho-Rovisic discontinuity. Tinatawag din tong Moho. Okay, Moho, in short for Moho-Rovisic. Okay, ito naman yung boundary between the crust and the mantle. Ito, this is Moho-Rovisic. Okay. Bakit kailangan ng boundary? Siyempre, lahat naman kailangan mong lagyan ng bakod. No? Minsan nga, boyfriend ko siya, charing. Okay. So, kailangan ng boundary. It's because we have to avoid the mix-up of chemicals. Okay? We have to avoid the mix-up of chemicals, the mix-up of the different components of the earth na dapat dito lang sa mantle. At may mga components din naman sa earth na dapat dito lang sa crust. Kinaintindihan. And then, after the Mohorovičić discontinuity, okay, we also have the Gutenberg. Okay, social, Gutenberg. Okay, the Gutenberg discontinuity naman, the boundary between the mantle and the core. Okay, bakit kailangan again ng boundary dito? It's because here, we have high temperature. Ngayon, imagine what happens if we don't have this continuity. The temperature rises up to here and then it goes going to the crust. So, yun ang iniiwasan natin. Yung sisingaw yung init sa lupa. Kuha. Alright. So, ngayon, yung earth size daw. So, i-compute mo na. 75 ito. Ito naman, 6,370. Okay? Kuha mo. Ito naman, 2,250 at ito naman, 1,120. That is the radius of the earth. Radius pa lang yun. Wala pa tayo sa diameter niya. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Earth's main chemical composition. So, kung napapansin nyo, class, the first two chemicals are silicon and oxygen. It's because the Earth is very rich in silicates. Okay, silicates, that's how you're going to write the silicates. We have 1 atom of silicon and 4 atoms of oxygen. So, that is silicates. We also have aluminum, which is very important for us to make grills ng mga bintana natin. We also have iron for us to make steel bars. Aside from that, kailangan ng iron ng katawan natin, especially our blood. Okay, kailangan din natin ng calcium. Why calcium? Kasi it is also considered a metal and it's very needed in our bones. Para maging strong. Ayos na ang buto-buto. Okay. We also have sodium, which is a very important element for us to make salt. Okay. Paano ba yung chemical composition ng salt? That is sodium chloride or the NaCl. Okay. We also have iron again. So, this is for the crust. Crust pa lang yan. Masyado nang madaming chemicals ang mahahanap. Ngayon, punta tayo doon sa mantle. Sa mantle, makakakuha ka ng iron. Okay? Iron, by the way, this is the chemical symbol, the Fe, from the word ferrum. Okay, from the word ferrum. Ito naman si magnesium. And then, we can also find aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. Especially, silicon and oxygen, they are also very rich in silicate. Okay, and then on the outer core, we have iron, nickel, and then the sulfur. And then, iron doon sa inner core. Kaya nga yung earth natin, hindi mawawalan ng iron. Okay? Pero ikaw, ba't ka nagkaka-anemia? Okay, charot. Okay, hindi mawawalan ng iron. It's because it is a chemical component that is basic. Kumbaga, sa lahat ng chemicals, this is the foundation. Your iron is the foundation. Okay? That's why we are very rich in iron and kasi ang iron, they are brittle. Kaya hinahalo sila sa steel to make a steel bar. Okay? Hinahalo sila sa ibang metal to make a steel bar. Alright? So now, we've discussed the different frequently asked questions. Okay? So, outer layer of the earth, syempre alam mo na yan. Ano ba yung outer layer? Yung crust. Okay? Contains of continental and oceanic. Okay, what are the different parts of the earth? We have crust, mantle, outer core, and your inner core. And how many layers? Syempre, we have 4. But sometimes, inner core and outer core are separated, okay? So, physically or chemically. So, you measure each layer based on physical, that is the distance, and the chemical properties, kung ano-ano yung mga chemicals na makukuha mo doon. Okay? What is the depth of the inner core? Syempre, it starts about 5,150 kilometers. And also, it extends to the center of the Earth. Okay? Let's go to the next one. What materials? Okay, inner core. Syempre, we have nickel and then amount of heavy metals. Ano ba tong mga heavy metals natin? Okay, with a trace of heavy metals. Syempre, we also have siguro mga, ayan, na-discuss na pala, iron. And then Earth's crust, ito, 5 to 60 kilometers. Kapag 5 kasi, mainly these are oceanic. Pero kapag 60, these are continental. Yan. Okay, what are the two types? Okay, oceanic. Siyempre, less dense, nasabi ko na yan kanina, and thicker naman ang continental crust. Okay, so do you have questions so far? Are you learning? So you better learn. Alright, so let's continue. Now that we have discussed about the different layers of the earth, let's discuss about your boundaries. Ito na siya. Your boundaries. What about these boundaries? Okay, usually kasi itong mga boundaries, this is where earthquakes usually happen. So, tinatawag din itong mga boundaries such as faults. Okay. Ano ba itong mga boundaries natin? Ano ba itong mga faults natin? Okay. The fault line, we have just a short trivia. We have a fault finder from DOST. So, pwede mong hanapin yung fault finder from DOST. Just search fault finder by DOST and then you'll find it in Google. So, kung gusto nyong makita kung ano yung mga fault lines dyan sa malapit sa inyo, so pwede din yon. Okay? So, erase muna natin to. Alright? Let's continue. So, ito, madami tayong mga plates. Usually, we have Eurasian plates, Philippine plate, Australian plate. Ito yung mga plate niya. So, yung mga plate, they are surrounded with boundaries. So, dito mo na rin nakikita kung ano-ano or saan ba dapat nakalocate ang Pilipinas. Saan ba dapat ang hangganan ng isang bansa. Okay, because of these plates. So, a part of it serves like that. So, we have Nazca plate, South American plate. Okay. So, magkakaiba yan. Kaya nga sinasabi na parang yung mga islands natin na pinagdikit-dikit, they are called plate. Parang mga plato lang sila kung titignan mo. Parang nakaplato lang sila na lang, ganyan lang. Alright? So, that's it for your plates. Okay. Earthquakes naman. Sabi ko kanina, yun yung mga boundaries natin. Now, we have earthquakes. So, earthquakes, okay, earthquake is defined as the shaking and trembling of Earth's crust. So, ngayon, alam mo na, hindi po ang mismong Earth ang nagsishake. It's only the crust. Okay? Caused by sudden release of energy. Ano-ano kaya tong mga energy? A part of it is thermal energy. Okay, thermal energy. Kasi kung i-drawing mo ang Earth, ito yung inner core, ito yung outer core, ito yung mantle, ito yung crust. So, dito manggagaling, okay, dito sa banda dito po manggagaling ang heat. Okay? And then, magpapataas siya. Okay? And magkakaroon ng fault line. Dito na magkakaroon ng fault line kasi mabibitak o magkakaroon ng fault kasi parang magkakrak yung lupa at doon nalalabas yung singaw, and the part of that is energy. So kapag hindi na kaya dito, as it goes along here, it will shake. And take note, earthquakes are earthquakes happened because of our seismic waves or seismic waves. Ano ba itong mga seismic waves natin? We have three parts. We have your P waves. So, ganito ang direction niya. Okay, so pwedeng they meet each other. So, magkakaroon ng ganyan. So, ipupush ng ipupush. Halimbawa, okay, ito, ipupush ng ipupush. Okay, magkakaroon ng parang pataas sa lupa. Okay, ito. So, kapag pinush niya, ito yung lupa. Kasi kapag ipupush niya, magkakaroon ng ganyan. Okay. Pwede ding ipupush niya away from each other. So, magkakaroon ng crack. Okay. So, those are P waves or the primary. Okay. Primary waves natin. Okay. So, we also have anyway, this is in your module. Nandito lahat sa module niya yan. Okay, we also have waves na S-wave. S-wave naman siya. Okay, ganyan di ba? S. Okay, S yan. So, ito naman, mini-measure mo tong amplitude. By the way, have you learned about waves, wavelength? So, very basic na to ha. Ito, mini-measure niya yung amplitude. Kung gaano kalaki ang amplitude niya or yung height ng wave niya. So, mini-measure niya din yung wavelength. Okay? So, usually, ito yung mga pagpupunta ka, babalik ka, kapag maglalakad ka during earthquake, urong-sulong ka. Urong-sulong ka na. And then, we also have the love wave. Wow! Sana all may love. Okay? So, the love wave. Ang love wave naman, pag ganun ang direction niya. So, yung isa, papunta doon, yung isa pabalik. So, ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ng ganyan na shape ang lupa. So, ganyan na siya. Parang pa-zigzag na siya. At, ang mangyayari pa dito, kung may bahay, di arwangam adatoy ton. Najay salas mo adatoy. So, ham mo talaga. Mahirap to. Ito yung mahirap. Yung S-wave and then this one. Ito yung mahirap sa lahat. Okay? It's because you don't know the different damages. Usually, it gives a lot of damages. So, you don't know the different amount of damage or the intensity of damage that it can give. Parang kabaliktaran naman ng pangalan niya, yung effect niya. Okay? So, after waves, syempre, dun sa primary wave kanina, so kapag ganyan ang lupa, kapag ipupush niya, magkakaroon tayo ng volcanoes. Naniniwala kayo doon? Syempre, totoo yun. Magkakaroon tayo ng volcanoes. So, volcanoes are generally described as mountains. Tama naman. But, these mountains emit volcanic products such as lava, rocks, ashes, and gases. By the way, anong pinagkaiba ng lava at magma? Okay? Ang lava, from the word lava, means labas. Okay, from lava means labas. Ibig sabihin, these are the different volcanic materials that are emitted already. Yung lumabas na siya, ito na siya, itong mga to. Yan. Lava yung mga yan. Paano naman pag magma? Siyempre, kabaliktaran ng labas ang loob. So, ang magma, sila yung mga volcanic materials that are inside the volcano. Ito yung mga lalabas pa lang, yung mga nandun sa pinakaloob. Yan. So, that is magma. Okay? So, from the interior of the earth daw. So, interior of the earth, awatawal na yan. Understood that that came from core. Okay? And through its vent, ito na yung vent, that's the fault line. Okay? By the way, the Philippines lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire. So, Pacific Ring of Fire. It means that the Pacific Ring of Fire, we are very prone to earthquake, we are very prone to volcanic eruption. And it describes mountains are formed that are deposits of these volcanic products. Okay? So, those are about volcanoes. Ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin ang mountain ranges. Sa Tagalog, kung may bulkan, kung may bundok, ang mountain ranges ay bulubundukin. Okay, sana all bulubundukin. Okay, a mountain range is a series of mountains or hills arranged in a line. Madami ito. Anong very famous na mountain range dito sa Philippines? We have your Sierra Madre. Your Sierra Madre is a famous mountain range in the Philippines because it helps especially in the Ilocos region. It blocks typhoons. Kaya nga, kung bumabagyo dito, parang gustong-gusto pa natin. Kasi nga, uulan lang, hindi naman masyadong tatangay babahain. Like, for example, what happened in Cagayan, hindi naman ganon, hindi ba? So, uulan lang. And then, wala na. After ulan, mababaha yung ibang lugar. And then, yung iba naman, wala na, parang walang nangyari. Minsan, umuulan nga, pero parang ambon-ambon lang. Pero signal number 3 na yon. Okay? So, that is through the help of our mountain range, which is Sierra Madre. Okay? So, they are variety of geological processes and the results of plate tectonic activities. Kasi ang waves mo, 'di ba sabi natin kapag yung P wave mo, yung primary wave mo na ganyan, hindi naman guarantee na isa lang. Syempre ang wave kasi repeated 'yan. So maggaganyan ulit siya. Ganyan. Okay? And by the way, what is the longest mountain range? Ito siya. Ito na sa picture. Ano to? The longest mountain range is the, anong tawag dyan? The Himalayas. The Himalayas. Paano na to? Ay, sorry. Okay. Wait lang ha. Okay, can you see it? Alright. So, the longest mountain range is the Himalayas mountain range. Ano ba tong Himalayas? Okay? Ang Himalayas, naghimalang lumayas. Ang Himalayas mountain range, it is located in Nepal. Kapag nakikita nyo yung word na Nepal, anong mountain ang naaalala nyo? The tallest mountain in the world, the Mount Apo. The Mount Everest. The tallest mountain in the world is the Mount Everest. Because, actually, kaya siya naging tallest. Okay, sorry for the dog's noises. Okay. Actually, kaya siya naging tallest. It's because continuous ang pagkakaroon ng reaction ng primary waves niya. So, as long as they are having the movement of the earth boundaries or earth faults, pataas ang pataas yan. So, pataas ng pataas din sa baba. Pataas ang pataas din ang Mount Everest. Okay? That's why until now, it is still the highest or the tallest mountains in the world. the Mount Everest, and it is located in the Himalayan mountain ranges, which is located in Nepal. Okay, that is in Nepal. Okay, now pag-uusapan naman natin ang earthquake epicenters. Ano ba tong earthquake epicenters natin? So, may legend dito sa baba kung nakikita nyo. Actually, this is in your module. Magbasa kayo ha. Okay. Ang earthquake epicenters, ito siya. Kapag red daw, ang epicenter niya is less than 50. Okay? Less than 50. Kapag green naman, ito, mga green, ang epicenter niya nasa 300 to 50 to 300 kilometers. So, kapag red, 0 to 50. Kapag green, 0 to 350 to 300 kilometers. And then, ang pinakamalala sa lahat, kapag red, that is 300 to 700 kilometers. So, nakikita nyo na yung distribution ng earthquake epicenters natin. Ano ba yung epicenter? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng epicenter? Simple lang. Epic center. Okay, epic, it means, kapag dumating ang earthquake, asan yung pinaka-OA ang damage? Pinaka-overacting ang damage? Pinaka-epic ang damage? Yung pinaka-malala. Okay? So, yon. Doon po nangyaring epicenter. And epicenter is just above the focus of the earthquake. So, kapag kayo yung focus ng earthquake, syempre, sa inyo talaga, mas malala ang kakaroon ng damage. Nakuha. Nakuha po ba? Okay? Epicenter. Alright? Okay, dito naman tayo sa distribution ng volcanoes. Usually, kung nakikita nyo dito, okay, ito siya, 'di ba? Iyan yung epicenter natin. So, you follow the shape. Ito. You follow the shape. You follow also the shape of your volcanoes. Okay? So, therefore, what can you conclude? What can you conclude? Na kung saan ang may pinakamaraming volcano, kung saan mas pinaka-focused ang volcano, pinaka-congested ang volcanoes, doon pinakamaraming earthquake epicenter. Because earthquake, volcanoes, faults, epicenters, waves, they are all connected from each other. Yan yung pinakatatandaan nyo sa lesson na to. Alright? And then, dito naman tayo sa mountain ranges. This is the Himalayan mountain ranges. Diba? So long. Ito naman yung Aleutians. Ito si Mount Fuji sa Japan. Ayun, ayun pala. That's, okay. So, it's a Mexico. Okay, so madami tong mga mountain ranges din natin. Sayang wala dito yung Philippines. Kasi masyadong maliit ng, ayun, doon. Yan yung Sierra Madre. That's the Philippines. Sierra Madre. Okay? So, that's it. Ito pa, Scotia Arc, madami. Ito si Andes Fault. May fault din sa Andes. So, pag-uusapan natin lahat ng to. Alright? Okay. So, that's the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for listening and having me until the end of the video. If you have questions, just text me, chat me using the messenger or reach me out using the messenger. And bonus point, okay, if you have your bonus point, kung naaalala nyo to, what are the two types of plates again? Hindi ko kayo marinig. The oceanic and the continental. O kapag oceanic, young or old? Oceanic, young or old? Law. Okay, kapag oceanic, young. Kapag continental, old. Kapag old naman, mas makapal ba or mas manipis? Kapag old, mas makapal. Pero kapag young, mas manipis. Okay, very good. Alright, can you give ourselves a big round of applause? Congratulations, learners. I hope that I'll be with you until the end of the school year. Goodbye.